All right. All right, everyone. Welcome I'm so grateful to have you guys here. Welcome to this interview series of the Vision Activator interview series. I'm so excited to have you here and for this installment for you. So just a quick introduction of myself. My name is Jen Dys. I am a human design and marketing strategist for entrepreneurs, and I specialize in helping women in business get crystal clear on their next steps. So whether that's shifting and tweaking their offers, the clients that they're serving, or the messaging that they're creating and putting out there to draw in those ideal clients using human design, that is what I specialize in. And so if you are tuning in today, you're going to love, love, love this interview. I've got an entrepreneur who went from furloughed to CEO in her company and who's also making some amazing moves in her business. And she's going to talk about her experiences and the path that she's taking towards her bigger vision. So I'm so excited to give a huge welcome to Cassandra Galvez. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So I am so excited to be here, so excited to be connected with you. And just to kind of kick things off with this interview is I would love to know or just tell the audience a little bit about your business today, kind of what you do, who you serve.
Sure. So but your Facebook ad strategist for you, 6 and 7 figure online coaches and course creators who are looking to create profitable launches while also amplifying your message, your income, and your dream clients using Facebook ads. So that's what I've been doing since 2020. And that's what brought me here to talk to you today.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much for coming. And I would love for you to share, because I know a little bit about it. We've been connected a little while. I've heard a little bit about your story, but I would love for you to share a little bit about the journey that has brought you to where you're at today. Because I know we kind of share a little bit of similarity in how we've kind of dove into this online business space and into the businesses that we have. But I would love for you to share with the audience your journey and your path.
Sure. So not we, but I say we because it's with my husband, of course, as well. But the thing is, like, we met in corporate back in 2015. And ever since then, I never thought about being an entrepreneur, but he always did. So he was always like putting that little noise and voice in my head, be like, we should be entrepreneurs. We should be entrepreneurs. And I was like, yeah, we'll get there. So in 2017, that's when the Beachbody thing was launching. And I was like, ooh, that sounds like so much fun. Let me try to do that. But I was just like, I don't want to show pictures of me just working out all the time and trying to get them to drink Shakeology, which is expensive. I was like, no, that's not for me. So then I saw an ad about helping local businesses bring in leads. And I was like, that is interesting. Let me see what it is. It ended up being a program about them teaching you how to run Facebook ads for local businesses. And then I was like, you know what? Sure, let's do that. Let's try that. But because it's still 2017, we were so comfortable in corporate. We're like, yeah, we watched the videos at like 5 a.m, but we still passed out. And then we're like, oops, we're not getting places. So that one ended up being in the back burner. And I was like, well, we'll get there eventually. So you fast forward until 2020, the pandemic hits. At job that I was working at, they started furloughing people. And before they furloughed me, there was one person, and I was like, oh gosh, they furloughed her. She was like super important. I was like, no, but they can't do that to me. No, that's impossible. The day after, it was one day before my 8th year anniversary with them. Oh my gosh, they were like, sorry, you have to go. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why are you doing this? But I mean, there's nothing much you can do. Like, nobody was knowing what was happening. What were we gonna do? And I was like, fine, whatever. This hurts, but I am not gonna wait for them. They said it should only last 90 days. But I was like, but that means I have 90 days to be better at something else. So then again, I saw another Facebook ad for another Facebook ads training. I took the challenge. It was a challenge, I think. It was like, oh, no, a 3-part video series. And then at the end, I was like, you know what? Facebook ads was something that I saw back in 2017. I'm seeing it again. It's a sign I have to do it. So I did. And I am glad I did because the 90 days went by. I finished this course. I didn't hear back from them. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I guess keep on going with this. And that is just how I ended up getting started while waiting for corporate to call me back. And then eventually they did call me back that December and they were like, we're thrilled to have you back. And I was like, I don't want to go back. So let me work on my own. And I've been doing that ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how like in that point in time, there's so much uncertainty. There is so much like so many questions flying around. But then at that point they had, when they called you back, you had already really started diving into your Facebook ads business and you were really starting to build that clientele, right?
Right, exactly. And it's something that was interesting because when they called me back, I did feel the, oh my God, I should go back feeling with them. And I was like, but I'm also building this. Like, I don't want to ruin what I've already kind of built them. And it's not perfect. And it's not like it feels like, oh my God, this is super safe, because entrepreneurship is not always safe. But I remember talking to one of my friends who's a life coach, and she was like, how does this feel? She was like, does it feel like how does it feel? She was like, think of a V. If the one way is going to corporate and one way is staying where you are, which one feels more comfortable to you? And that's when I was like, well, entrepreneurship feels like uncomfortable uncomfort. And she was like, well, then you have your answer. And I was like, oh, well, you're right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's amazing because through that process or that part of that transition from, you know, your corporate job into your business, and then with the opportunity, that fork in the road, it's like you almost really took the time to, like you said, I had the should started coming up, but then you were kind of sat back and like really figured out what was right for you and just really trusted yourself to continue on this amazing journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's a hard way to be like, I have to trust myself. I know I built this, and I'm also a very stubborn person, so that helps too.
As we are in business too. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about so the journey itself, and I know mine's been full of different shifts and twists and turns. Let's talk a little bit about like the twists and the turns and maybe the shifts that come with being an entrepreneur. It's part of the journey. Has there ever been a time in your business when you've had the strategy, you've had the plan, but things just didn't work out? Because I know many of the women that are listening, they might be at that point too where they're trying all of the things, or there's just things that maybe aren't feeling like they're working out for them. So, has there ever been a point where you've hit that resistance or that strategy or that plan just didn't work out, but you were able to kind of overcome it or keep moving forward?
Oh man, I think there's been multiple times when that has happened, because the thing is, like, when you're just starting out, you're like, post in Facebook groups. No, just run ads. No, just do it organically. Put reels. And you're like, what do I do? Which one do I go with? And you just start doing a little bit of everything. And you're like, well, this is not working. So the thing is, like, yes, we hired a coach when we just started out, but the problem is that she was newer and she was amazing, but the thing is, like, the strategy kept on changing like every week, and I'm like, don't know what to do. So yeah, it definitely felt like, oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I am so lost. I have no idea what to do. Yeah, multiple times I've been like, I give up. I'm not trying this. But the thing is, like, eventually I was like, all right, we're gonna follow this one strategy only, and this is what we're going with. And that slowly started working. And then you're like, okay, this kind of works. So let me try a little bit more. And the more you see, the more you keep doing, the more things you kind of find that where's the issue. And then you're like, all right, let me try to solve this. Because at the very beginning is like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know who I help. Like, I help everybody because you want to help out everybody, like, from the bottom of your heart. You really do. But then you're like, all right, I have to get clear. Okay, I got this. So yeah, as long as you keep going, that's a slowly when you're like, ooh, I think I need more help with sales. So how can I find somebody that's really good at sales that can help me with sales? Or like, oh, I think I need more help with email marketing. How can I find somebody that can help me with email marketing? And slowly you start figuring out the things that are missing that are going to make a big impact for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. I couldn't agree more. I feel like there's always things that come up. There's always forks in the road. There's always challenges and things that maybe feel like they're not working out for you, but it's just like you said, it's just figuring out what's going to work for you. Keep getting curious, keep trying to explore, and just keep trying, just keep going one foot in front of the other. So what are some of the bigger things that you see for your business? Like share a little bit about like your bigger vision for your company, where you're going, what like the impact you want to create and make that vision that you have.
So I would say the very first thing is like, I know I work with my husband, but he's still working in corporate. So the very most important thing is to get him out of there so that he can work with me, because we've always been so used to being like a team. So it feels like my team is missing here. But also by having this extra part of the team, which is really, really funny, both and I have the very similar energy. So if you were talking to me, let's say on the DMs, and it was actually him, you would have never known. It was so funny. We've done that a few times and people can never tell the difference. So by having him next to me, I think it will be a lot more helpful, because we can have and like reach more people, help out more coaches with their launches and stuff like that, because then it's not just only me, but it's only him. So we can double the impact. Just like be out there with more people, because yeah, at the end of the day, I know lots of coaches are like, I want to amplify the message, but I don't know how to do it. And at times they did use Facebook ads and it didn't quite work out for them, but it's because they didn't get the right help. So just by having him near me, I think that we can double the impact and just like help out people, just have profitable launches. At the end of the day, that's
Yeah.
what ads are supposed to help out with.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you brought up like your clients and working with them through their launches, and that has been a little bit more of a recent like focus for you, right? So so with working with your clients and working through the pieces and parts of their launches, like why, I would love to know why that lights you up or is exciting to you, or how that kind of came to be.
That is an awesome question. So this also goes back to corporate, which is really funny. So I was in there for like 3 months, and then they're like, sorry, this person's leaving. I need you to do all this event planning. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't do event planning. I'm not an event planner. What are you talking about? Bam. I just had to do 5 of those. They were called academies. So it's when they brought in people to train about their product for 3 days. And it was like 15 seats that we had to fill out 5 times a year. I was like, oh my God, this is so stressful. I don't know what to do. But eventually I came to understand it's all about planning it. Like it's all about having this going to happen here, bring the people, have the flights, have the hotels, set up the meals. And it was actually something really, really fun for me. Lots of people find that to be super stressful. But for me, it's just like a little map. It's like you did this, check. Okay, cool. You did this, good. Now you can move through here. And the same thing is for launches for me. It's all about following this plan of like, okay, do we have this? Perfect. Do we know these audiences work? Perfect. Do we have the budget? Yes, this is how it's gonna, this is projection, just a projection, not a guarantee or
Mhm.
results. Um, but it's just like following like event planning. And that's something that Michael, that's my husband, he was saying, he was like, you always said you started liking event planning. Why don't you move event planning to ads? And I was like, oh, the lunches, of course, that makes sense. So that's something that's super exciting to me. That's why I was like, let me just shift a little bit more towards launches than towards any other type of ads for coaches.
Hmm. Yeah, that's amazing, because I feel like too, as you move forward in business and you start getting a little bit more clearer on, where your strengths are at, what the type of work and the type of clients that truly light you up, like that's how also like some of those challenges or roadblocks get cleared out. You almost like
Yeah.
focus more on the direction you can see yourself and how you can best show up and serve the people in a way that really, really um, motivates you and inspires you to take that
Mm-hmm.
action and just keep going and growing.
And that's also where the confidence comes from, because then you're like, yes, I can help you with that. Instead of being like, can you help me with my webinar? You're like, yeah, I think so. Hopefully I can do it. But with the other one, that's when the confidence starts building up and you're like, absolutely, I've helped this client do this, and that, this other one do this, and that. So it just keeps on building up and you're like, damn, I'm actually good.
You're like, I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Yes, I can help you. And here's exactly how.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so, well, since this is a series that is dedicated to inspiring other women in business to take that aligned action towards their bigger vision, and I see you as this activator for these other women that are tuning in and for the audience. Can you share with the audience your best advice in getting unstuck from any situation to keep moving forward in business?
See, I hate giving this advice because I didn't even listen to it until recently. But seriously, at times you just have to do the thing. Just do it. You don't need to know the why. You don't need to know what's going to happen. You just have to do it but just do it if somebody that already is successful in what you're trying to reach tells you to do it. Not just to do it because a Reels told you to do it. In that case, no. But like if somebody that's successful that you look up to, that you hire, tells you just do it, literally just do it. And that's exactly what was happening with a coach that I recently hired. She was like, I need you to do this, this, and that. And I was like, no, that feels so awkward and so weird to me. But I was like, you know what? I hired her for a reason. Let me just do this. I know it's not going to work out. And then I'll just go back to my way. But then again, why did I hire her? That was what I was going to do. But I was like, screw it. I did it. And then I was like, oh my God, it worked. And then I tried it again and I was like, oh my God, it actually worked. So then that's when you're like, okay, I really need to stop like doubting people that I hired to help me and actually just do the thing. At times you're not going to see why. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel weird. You're going to be like, I can't do this. Or like, it's not even I can't, it's I don't want to do this. But eventually then you do it the next time, you're like, wow, this is actually pretty simple. Why? And then you don't understand why you didn't want to do it. So the thing for me is like literally just do the thing. Just do it, knowing that somebody's got you. If they don't have you, then don't do it. But find somebody that's actually gonna help you reach to where you want to be.
Yeah. And I love that. That resonates so much with me too. That exactly what you said. So key words, make sure that you just do the work, do the steps, listen to the person that's already like ahead of you on the path that you're trying to go. Listen, it's who you're listening to. It's not just listen to everybody, but it's listen to the person that's going to support you and get you to where you want to go, because those people are out there. Obviously you bring them into your world for a reason, and it's trusting them, but then also that requires, again, that big circle back and trusting yourself and being able to take what they're telling you to do and make it your own, right? Yeah.
Exactly, because it's a process that works, but it's not literally every word by word. There's things that you can tweak. You're like, I may not like this. Let me switch it up with this. And it's also, oh man, and I also hate this because I'm not a person that likes to test things. I want them to work 100%, and I know that doesn't work that way. So I'm slowly learning. Just test out things. So if this person tells you do this, and you're like, I don't know if I have that ready, switch it out for something else. See if it works. And you're like, oh, it worked. Okay, perfect. Then keep on rolling, because then slowly it becomes your process.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. Key phrase, it's your process that you build over time. And yeah, it's just amazing. Thank you, Cassandra, for sharing your story. Thank you for coming today. Can you share just a little bit about what you're working on right now, or where the audience can find you to connect with you more after this show?
Of course. So weirdly enough, the best way to find me is actually on my Facebook profile, not my page, not Instagram, but actually my Facebook profile. That's where I share a little bit about everything. Because the other thing is like, I'm also a Zumba instructor. So by following my page, well, my actual personal profile, you get to see a little bit of me both. So that's the best way to find me. And of course, if you want to chat with me, the DMs are always open in there. That's the ones that I check the most. So I'd love to have you there.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I will be sure to include your links in the notes with this show. So you guys, if you're tuning in and catching this episode, make sure you go and check out Cassandra. If you need to, or if you are looking to expand in the Facebook ads realm, especially if you're working on launching whatever you're working on, I would highly recommend reaching out to her, and I will leave her info in the notes. So yes, thank you again so much for coming. This has been a real treat to have you on, and thank you for sharing your story and inspiring the other women that are going to be tuning into this in the future to just take that action towards those aligned goals, work with the right people, and just take the steps, right?
Right. No, thank you also, Jen, for inviting me. I've had a blast chatting with you today. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.